What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So today was a very slow day when it came to price action. It was very slow up until like late afternoon. We ended up seeing some move to the upside on NQ, but going into today on SPY, we were neutral. Pretty much that just means that there's no trend in the market, and I gauge this by looking at the 30-minute chart here. So on the call side, you can see this 10 SMA, which is this green line, is below the 50. So that means, you know, there's no trend on the call side. Same thing on the put side. You know, we ended up hitting this major resistance here on the put side yesterday, and we ended up bottoming out at that 50 SMA. That's what I said. You know, during these neutral markets, we tend to bounce between the 50 SMAs on the call side and the put side, you know, until it kind of makes some moves and crosses. So yesterday we came into massive resistance on the put side, and you know, we rejected and put in the bottom. Today we're closing right around this 30-minute 50, so right around the 50 SMA now on the 670 calls for Friday. We're going to be getting new contracts tomorrow, so on Fridays we pick the following week out Fridays. So you know, these ones would be 0DT tomorrow, so it wouldn't make sense to gauge the, you know, bigger picture trend on a 0DT chart. So that's why we pick new ones on Fridays, because the current ones we're watching are going to be 0DT. We pick them again tomorrow, and we repick on Monday. Those are the only days that you pick the new contracts for Friday expiration. Obviously, 0DT charts you change every single day because there's 0DT. And yeah, so today market was neutral. What I was looking for was a cross on either side of the premium. Like going in today, more likely it was going to be a call side trade, just because we ended up rejecting that 30-minute 50 here on the put side. So right at close yesterday, where were we at? So we were right here at close yesterday, this last 30-minute candle, and you know, we ended up rejecting that 50. 50's down hard, closed below the 10. You know, most likely there would have been a trade to the upside just given that, and there's also, you know, a lot of room to this 50 SMA since we're all the way down here. A lot of room to see a move to the upside, and we obviously had the upside move today, and I'll show you guys what we took. So there's nothing going on the put side today. The call side chart was crossed the entire day. You can see right here from 9:30, we ended up opening right here at 9:30. There's no entry right here yet. Because so right off open, I was looking for this 50 SMA to curl for me to take an entry on this cross, because this is still a 0DT cross, just because we did cross back in here kind of at the close yesterday, but right off open, that 50 SMA still sloped down. So I was looking for this 50 SMA to curl up, and once we got it to curl up, I was going to take an entry. But at the point, you know, when it curled, it was like during this candle, and we already saw a big move higher. Chart was really extended from where the 50 is, where, you know, that'd be where my stop loss is. So the risk reward on that trade wasn't there, and there was no entry there. I didn't take an entry on this. What I wanted to see was price pullback to the 50 SMA, and then get a closure back above the 10 to take an entry. So it was this reclaim of the 10 SMA right here. So once we got back above the 10 SMA, I didn't get in yet. The 50 was still, not the 50, the 10 SMA right here was still sloped down hard. So I didn't take my entry yet. I waited for this 1045 candle open. As soon as 1045 opened, I went long on NQ. I got a fill at 58. You can check the chart of where I got filled at, but 58 was my fill on NQ, and I ended up holding this up until 11:32 is where I took half off. So that was over here on this candle. It doesn't seem like there was much of a move, but obviously I think NQ was a bit stronger than SPY. So that's where I was up 50 points. I took half off right here, and I was pretty much like, I think it went like 1 or 2 points over 50 points in profit on the trade, and then I ended up reversing, coming back down here, and I ended up closing the rest as this 5-minute 50 was breaking right here. So that's the first trade we took. So I got half my position out at 50 points right here, playing this 10 SMA reclaim. My stop loss is this 50. I was pretty much walking through the Discord the entire way of, you know, where my stop loss was, you know, why I'm not stopping out yet, because we were sitting at that major support. You know, I wanted to see that break for me to stop out, which it didn't. So I held. We got a nice bounce, and I was up 50 points. And in a neutral market, that's typically where, you know, the limit is on your trades. 50 points. I only took half off just because we had a lot of room to rip to the 30-minute 50. And I was pretty certain that we were going to get it, so that's why I did end up holding half of my position. I wanted to see it move higher, and it just took pretty much all day for us to grind higher to reach that 50, which was unfortunate. But yeah, that's the first trade we took. And then right after we lost this 50, we got pretty much right back above it. So I ended up taking the same trade as this last trade pretty much. So we got back above the 10 SMA right here at 1150. I was in this at 1144. So right before this candle closed, I was in NQ longs at 90 on NQ, and yeah, we closed below the 10 here. It looked really good. I mean, we got the 10s pretty much flattened, pointed up, 50s up, looks really good for your entry. Stop loss below the 50. That's a really good entry point since, you know, the 50 is really not that far away. It's like 15 cents on the premium. So that's the entry right there. You hold it as long as this 50 holds, and we got a nice move higher right here. And I was up 50 points at 1257, and this took me an hour and 13 minutes. I was in this trade. So all the way up until right here, I was in it. I took my trims at 1257. I was up 50 points right on this peak up in here. And we had this weird wick candle here on, what was this? On SPY chart. I don't even think that was a real wick. I think it was just glitched out on the chart. And this pullback right here, I ended up getting out on. I think I was like in profit 15, 20 points. I just closed it because there's a weird candle that came. A lot of volume came in, so I just got out. I didn't know if it was like a news candle or something. So I just got out the rest of profit on that. And then we end up reclaiming the 10 SMA again right here. Obviously, you could have, you know, the closure, I wouldn't have taken this, but I sent it to the Discord of, you know, this is when I would enter. This is pretty much right on the open, but it's a low risk entry. We end up bouncing from the 50 right here. You can see this is the open of the 135 candle. We're starting to get back above it. This is where you could take starter positions. Honestly, I mean, it looked really good. 10's up, 50's up hard. I was pretty confident this was going to go up. That's why I sent it in the Discord. And, you know, with us bouncing off the 50 or near the 50, getting back above the 10 here, that would have been pretty much your entry point. And then look at the move higher. I mean, I didn't take that. I was already, you know, I already took 2 trades for the day, already caught 2 50-pointers. So I didn't take that, but that would have been the entry that I would have given if I did take the entry. So yeah, those were pretty much the trade opportunities for today. The main ones were the initial reclaim back in here, and then the reclaim right in here. Those are your really, you know, high confidence ones, or the ones that you should have taken. It's early in the day, and these are the entries that were given. So hopefully everything makes sense. I mean, today, like I said, was neutral, and that's why you know, there really wasn't any crazy move, and that's why action was a bit choppier. So even though we do have CPI tomorrow, so that's kind of another factor. So, you know, this is typically more what a neutral market looks like. It's a lot, you know, more difficult to navigate. You know, there could still be really good price action when we're neutral, but this is what you could, you know, expect when we do have a neutral market. When we're not crossed on either side of the market, doesn't really know what it wants to do. I was pretty much bull biased the entire day because of what we looked like on, again, the 0DT chart, and then we had a ton of room to the 50 on the call side on the 30-minute. So, you know, I didn't really see us hitting any big resistance areas up until that point, and you know, that's pretty much why I was biased to the upside today. But again, you watch the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart tells you the trend in the market and where you want to focus on. So, like I said, today we were neutral, so there really wasn't anything crazy for bias, you know, wise. The only reason I thought higher was because puts couldn't cross. So since we rejected that 50 on puts, most likely we're, you know, I favor the upside. You know, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter really what I think though, because I still, you know, waited for my entry on the 0DT chart today, and we ended up catching some good moves. They took forever to play out though. That was the only problem. Like, they took forever to play out. I'm glad they played out, but it was annoying sitting in this choppy action, and you know, the candles slowly going up. You know, these are the two different types of markets where we're choppy and we get these slow, tiny moves higher. You know, even though the trade still does work out. Or we get those immediate crosses that go in our favor, reclaims that go in our favor, where we're out of the trade in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, where it makes its move right away. So, you know, that's kind of the difference when we have that good price action versus the choppy markets. So that's pretty much what we did today. Going into tomorrow, we do have CPI, but as always, I'm going to give you two sides to the market that we're going to be getting tomorrow. It doesn't matter what happens. There's always going to be a move we could catch on either side. So if we go to the 30-minute here, we're sitting at the 50, major support, or not major support. We're sitting at the 50 here on the 30-minute, which is major resistance. And again, we have CPI, so who knows what's going to happen. But all you have to do tomorrow is pull up the 30-minute chart. We're going to be picking new ones tomorrow, so it's probably going to be the, what is it? What other expiration? Is it the 31st, I would imagine? All right, so this is what the next weeks look like for the 670s. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get like the 675s, but I'll just leave it at the 670s for now. Pretty much all you have to watch for is if this 30-minute chart crosses, all right, whatever ones we have, if we cross tomorrow and 10 SMA is above the 50, focus is going to be on the long side. I'm only going to be interested in taking trades to the upside. So your trade ideas, what you want to look for, if that's the case, you look for the 0DT call cross. I mean, if we do have a move on CPI, they're probably already going to be crossed. So at that point, look for a 50 SMA dip, or you can wait for a 10 SMA reclaim. Personally, I've been waiting for the reclaims, even though it's a trending market. I just feel like it's more likely they work out when we do get a reclaim. So that's kind of what I've been doing. When it comes to taking the 50 dips, I've kind of stayed away from taking them recently, but it's still a valid trade if you want to take it. And then if we drop tomorrow, obviously market will still be neutral, and most likely we'll get a put cross at that point because we're not going to get the call cross if we see a move lower. So 0DT put cross, 10 SMA reclaim on puts. It's very simple. Plan for both directions. Doesn't matter what way we go. I could care less. I'm not swinging anything. So, all we have to do is use our eyes tomorrow, and if we're crossing the 30 on the call side, you look for your call side trades. If we're not crossed, most likely, okay, we'll get some sort of move to the downside, catches 0DT cross on puts, 10 SMA reclaim on puts, and that'll be that. It's very simple, same types of trades every single week, every single day. You just have to look at the 30-minute chart to kind of decide where we're more likely favored to go, and then wait for your entry on the 0DT charts. So that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. That's where I'm at all day, every day, and that's where all these trades are shared. So that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.